these two interesting characters. These two guys were named by B&T magazine as one of the 30 top under 30s in the advertising world. We've never had one of from Adelaide before. We happen to have these two guys from the same agency. And they happen to be the only agency in South Australia that managed to get two people on it which is quite remarkable. David Campbell and Jeremy Irvine are their name. They've set up a business called Funaki. And it was a business that I took great umbrage to straight away because their mantra was, we don't pay for ads. I'm really sad they've done so well. But what these guys do is consistently rock the boat. David will not mind me telling you that he is a polarising force within the Adelaide advertising community. He has an opinion on everything. And it's usually an opinion that doesn't necessarily line up with that of the majority. And that's probably why he's so successful. These guys went on Gruen Transfer a few weeks ago. If you don't watch it, start watching it religiously, period. But they went on Gruen a little while ago, a couple of weeks before another Adelaide agency called The Kingdom, who also don't buy advertising, came on, and they both took away the gong. So very good. But at Marketing Week a couple of weeks ago, Jeremy was asked the question, why should we do media in Adelaide? And he went, well, look, if you want a job, stay in Adelaide. Everyone's so old, we're going to die soon, and the job opportunities are better. The reality of it is that the lifeblood of our industry is fresh blood. And there are, as I said, there are opportunities at the bottom and there are opportunities near the top. So this isn't a bad, it's not a bad place to get started. There's a lot less competition and you'll find yourself working on more important stuff theoretically faster as well if you move into an industry like this here. Two more things. How to get a job in digital media. Don't fear the phone. This is a reasonably personal one for me because in this world of email, this world of twitting, etc., we very much find that people are missing the personal engagements. The best personal engagement is obviously face-to-face. With busy people, that's not always possible, but the phone, and it's dreaded of Gen Y, and I just fit into Gen Y, so I'll throw myself in this one as well. I always dreaded the phone, but a phone's a great way to do business, it's a great way to build brand, and it's a great way to connect with people by just ringing up and saying, hey look, this is going on, hey look, I've got this, etc, etc. So yes, the world is so much easier to do by email because it's impersonal. You can hit send on the things you didn't really want to send and then run away and have lunch and come back, the answer's there. But bad news should always be delivered by phone, no matter what business you're in, period. Good news is easy to deliver by phone, but engagement with people by phone or face-to-face should never be substituted by just social media or email. The final one, and I haven't talked about resumes yet because in essence, if you're doing all of these things, as I said, your resume is probably just the formal process or application for what you're doing. However, if you're going to do a resume, make it stand out. I see dreadful resumes consistently. This is one I haven't used, but I just thought, let's buck the trend. Let's create a Wikipedia page on myself. Now, I'm not important enough to be on Wikipedia. They'd pull me down. So I just fabricated it, did a little cut and paste and plonk in there. But this is something that I would send off to a prospective employer with a link to my LinkedIn. Which is what would have the rest of it. And if I'm working in digital media, this is a much better way to do it. Saw a fantastic one the other day that was just a square of white paper with a QR code sitting in the middle of it. And the QR code linked to a 3-minute video of the person actually personally pitching themselves. Straight away blows any of the other things out of the water. If I saw a blank resume with just a QR code, that's the first one I'd go to. I can guarantee you that right now. Because it shows people know, it shows they're engaged. So once you finally get to that last step of your personal brand process, which is the yes, I'd like a job, and here's my formal application, go to that. This is the bit that you love, or that's scary, one of the two. I did this for, I did a talk going back about a year and a half to the digital design students over in the School of Architecture, talking about their jobs. And in that, you're either worth nothing if you work for someone, or you're worth an incredible lot if you work for yourself and manage to get someone to buy you. It doesn't quite work that way in our industry, but this will give you a little bit of an idea about probably not first year salary expectations, but probably second or third year in a job, about where you're sitting. Interesting one, the worst paying area of this business on the whole is PR, because it's quite difficult to quantify, it's quite difficult to put a number against it. I work in the sales part of media for the simple reason that I like knowing how I'm going to get my money, and I like being able to get more than what they just decided to pay me. If you work for an agency, on the whole, you'd probably be on a reasonable base salary, but it's not until you build yourself up a bit and say, hey, look, can I please work for a percentage or a commission, and the risks that that entails, obviously, if things don't go well, that it's going to start to change there, though.
And the other thing, guys, about don't be afraid of using the word sales. You know, it's a number of people who study marketing and say, I never want to have to sell anything. It's like, well, you better get over that one pretty quickly.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up. I was doing some sales training with our reasonably senior account managers, we call them, but they used to be called sales execs, but they didn't like the word sales, so they changed their name to account managers. And we asked how many of them liked sales, and 2 put up their hands, and funnily enough, it's the 2 most successful account managers come salespeople by a long way. The reality of it is, whatever you do within media, brand management, social media engagement, etc., you are selling something. You're selling something that you have some control over to someone else. Everyone in media agencies is out there pitching why their media agency should have an account. Everyone working on an account is pitching why they should have better accounts. Everyone in my position is saying why my business is better than that of Facebook, Fairfax, etc. Everyone is selling in this business. You came into it to help people sell stuff.
And every tweet you send, every blog you write is an effort towards being a better sales organisation.
Correct.
Than your competitors.
Correct. Absolutely. And just like you plan that is just why you should, when you're planning anything to do with your brand, work out how you can keep selling it, and better, work out how others can sell it for you by acting as advocates along the way, because that's the best sales. So guys, look, that's it for me today. Thanks to you guys that came along. I'll leave some cards behind. You're more than welcome to ask me some more questions from there. If anyone's got any questions now, I've realised I've run over time, so maybe just ask me afterwards. If anyone wants to know how they can get involved in small businesses, Bar Central, etc., also let me know. I'm sure we can find things. And hopefully, moving forward, there'll be some opportunities at the Advertiser as well.
Yeah, that's certainly the plan. Yeah, so thanks. So we might, if anyone wants to throw any questions, that is, at Guy, we might as well do that now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Anyone got any questions? There we go. That was easy. This is always the way. Someone get the